example, the man's got prosperity, and he's killing millions and millions of people. Guess what? The people are not going to recognize this violence. They're going to recognize the violence that the poor man does. You see that? And you know, proves that as a brother replied come, did a sit down on this woman. This like a princess, blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman. And what she did was she stabbed another kid in school, and they were saying do something to her intelligence.
What?
They're saying that she's intelligent.
Her boyfriend she stabbed.
She stabbed the boyfriend, and now they're saying, well, maybe there's a level of intelligence that she had to stab the boyfriend.
What?
And the reason why they said that because she's what you call an upper class white woman. But I tell you this, if a so-called black woman did that, it would have been a totally different story.
They would have arrested her. They would have said that she's been abused.
Right.
She's crazy.
Stripped her of her position.
Yeah. Fired her. They would have. Man,
it would have been the end of her life.
They probably would have shot her for being a terrorist, man. Because of terrorism. Terrorism.
But because it's some upper class, blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman, it's not a problem. It's okie doke. It's okay. It's fine. So that's the double standards. And then people will tell you in their confusion and say, well, we're all equal. That in alone shows you that that's bullshit. The equality concept is bullshit. Go on, brother. And the reason why we can say that it's bullshit is because we can see right through this empire. Go on, brother. This society.
Say, for with thee will I break in pieces the nation, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms.
And that's what the Lord is going to do. The Lord is going to give us that power again. Like how he gave the other nations the power, he's going to give us more power than what we deserve.
What verse is that?
You got a precept, yeah?
That's what verse is that?
Jeremiah 51, start from verse 19. And with thee will I break in pieces the horse and his rider. And with thee will I break in pieces the chariot and his rider. With thee also will I break in pieces man and woman. So we're going to fuck up women too. We're going to try to fuck up the women. And with thee will I break in pieces old and young.
Right.
Damn, even little kids. And with thee will I break in pieces the young man.
Right, so when the Lord gives us the power, we're not going to spare nothing. Because that power is going to be so overriding within us. We're just going to destroy anything that is in our way. Anything that is not of the covenant, man. Anybody that's not of the covenant, they're just going to be totally laid waste down to the soul. See? And even if this go to the soul. Come on, bro.
Ezekiel 9:4. And Yahweh said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the forehead, the men that sigh and cry.
And this is talking about the angels of the Lord. The angels of the Lord are like that as well. When it's their time to wreak havoc on the planet or kill, they're going to kill. And them same spirits are going to be back. Go on, brother.
And cry for all the abomination that be done in the midst thereof. And to the others he said in my hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite.
Right, so the Lord commanded the angels to go through the city and smite. So whoever doesn't have the mark, which is, what is it, the war, right? Which means exempt from judgment. Nah, you can take a picture of the sign. On the sign, you can take a picture of the sign, but not us though. You understand? Yeah, so the Lord has certain spirits created for vengeance and war. And when it's time for them to unleash their killing spree, they're gonna go right ahead and they're gonna do that. And that's why you have to fear the Lord. That's why you gotta do what the Lord tells you to do, man. You understand? You're going.
Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity.
Yeah, so when the Lord gives us that spirit in Jeremiah 51, we're not going to spare nobody. Nobody's going to be spared, man. And plus, the Lord is going to give us the visions of what happened to us in our past life. And that's really going to piss us off, man. We really going to be gunning to destroy these other nations, man, based on what they did to us throughout the previous centuries and all of that. Okay, because it tells you in Ecclesiastes that the Lord, matter of fact, can you give me that, brother? It's in Ecclesiastes 1. think it's in the last verse where it says,
Let me finish this.
yeah, finish that one. Yeah, go ahead.
Verse 6.
Yeah, so what's your nationality?
Huh?
What's your nationality?
Asian.
Haitian? You're not no Haitian, man.
It's Asian.
Oh, Asian, right. But what part of Asian he's from? Probably Pakistan.
Guys, the joke. I started taking a photo for his Facebook friends or whatever, man.
Right.
It's a scoffle.
Verse 6. Slay utterly
But you
all.
know though, he can do that because guess what? That brings out the word even more. That spreads the word even more. Go on.
Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at the sanctuary.
And we're the men today, we're those same men. The exemption from judgment. So when the Lord wreaks havoc on his planet, we're going to be alright. We're going to be cool. We're willing. You know, how about Shmi al-Shai willing? Because, you know, we really technically, man, we're wicked, man. You know what I'm saying? But the Lord is going to give us the mercy and the ability to be saved. He's going to redeem us. Okay, because we need to be redeemed. We need to be fixed up, man, because we are sick down here. Mentally we sick in the head. Okay, you got demons fucking with us and everything like that, especially the brothers in the faith. And then you got to deal with these other nations too, getting your goddamn nerves and shit like that. You know what I mean? So we need to be healed, man. We need to be healed. Okay, go on, brother.
Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. That's you on that.
Okay, yeah. Give me Ecclesiastes 1. You know where it says we don't remember the former things.
Ecclesiastes 1, verse 11. There's no remembrance of former things.
Right, there's no remembrance of former things. So when the Lord gives us that vision of what happened to us, man, we really, and plus on top of the Spirit of the Lord, we're going to be really, really pursuing these other nations, man. And they just going to get run down. They're going to be mown down, man. Like a, what is it? Like a lawnmower, a grass mower. We're going to mow these nations down, man. Okay, that's the soul power we're gonna get. We're gonna get some scary, frightening power. And then these other nations and people around the world, they're gonna know the fear of the Lord right there.
They're gonna be murderers, man.
That's why it tells you, and on top of that, brother, can you give me Jeremiah 16 and 15? Because we got two jobs, one verse, go back to
Yes.
Yeah, because we're gonna do two jobs. We're right now we're fishing. And guess what? The Lord is going to send for many hunters. So that's the job of the men of the Lord.
Jeremiah 16, verse 16. Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith Yahweh, and they shall fish them. And after will I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain.
And that's going to happen in the word mountain is synonymous with government. Okay, that's where you get the term summit from, the highest mountain. That's the government. So we're going to take down different governments as well as. Beginning with Yahweh Shai, who you call Jesus Christ. He's going to destroy all of these paganistic, heathenistic governments, and he's going to establish his government, which is the kingdom of heaven. That's going to be the government established, the government of Israel and the government of Yahweh Shai. Go on, brother. I think that's it on that. Go back to the verse you had before. So they all lose back to power. The Lord is going to take Esau's power out, and he's going to give us more power on top of what the power these other nations got too. Because we're going to take all of the crowns of these other nations as well. When you read what is the second chapter. So the Lord is going to give us so much power to the point where we'll be able to take every single nation down. Like how we did during the time of Mordecai. Go on.
It says, back in Jeremiah 51, verse 23, I will also break in pieces with thee the shepherd and his flock, and with thee will I break in pieces the husbandman and his yoke of oxen, and with thee will I break in pieces captains and rulers, and I will render unto Babylon, unto all the inhabitants of Chaldea, all their evil that they have done in Zion, in your sight, saith Yahweh.
America right there. Modern day Babylon is America. All those now destroyed. Because because that didn't come to pass during the time of ancient Babylon. So what's going to happen is somehow, some way, that sort of thing or that scenario is going to come to pass in these times. Certain brothers are going to get the spiritual power like never seen before, and then that's just going to be the devil. Everything you see out here is going to change, baby. It's going to change. Go on, brother. The power shift is going to change. Go on.
Can't come soon enough. They can't come soon enough.
What's that, bro?
Can't come soon enough.
Right.
I want to wake up tomorrow and it's happening, man.
Come on.
Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, saith Yahweh, which destroyest all the earth.
Right, which now that's how you see that's how you gotta get to these scriptures. Because Babylon destroyed all of the earth. They destroyed certain nations that came up against them.
Right.
But this is talking about America now.
Yeah.
So you gotta know how to basically bring in you gotta know how to interpret these scriptures.
Right.
Okay, and that's why Great Millstone, the men of Great Millstone, we're the guys, man. All of these other Hebrews like camps, they're not setting their tone. They're not breaking down the scriptures. Okay, you know, even when they read certain scriptures like the Book of Revelations, they get uncomfortable. They feel like they're out of their place, and they start going into different breakdowns. You see, we at the Great Millstone, we're so versed in the scriptures, okay, because of our teachers, the ones that we learn from. So the reason why we're so skilled is because we've learned from those that are skilled. Go on, brother. And I guarantee you, if a regular Christian guy read this, he wouldn't understand what that meant. Go on, brother. He would still think that it's talking about ancient Babylon.
So it said, which destroyest all the earth.
Right.
And I will stretch out mine hand upon thee and roll thee down from the rocks.
Right.
I will make thee a burnt mountain.
And I see that? I will make thee a burned mountain. So, I mean, ancient Babylon is still in effect right now. You can live there if you wanted to. Modern day Iraq. But guess what the Lord said? He's going to make Babylon a burnt mountain. So which Babylon is this talking about? This is talking about America. Which America is going to get blown to smithereens. And it's going to become a desert, a 5,000 square mile worth of desert. And how is America further to Mount going to be a burnt desert? By a way of nuclear destruction. That's where this thing is going. That's where the so-called white man's taking his empire. He's taking it down to the toilet, his own empire. Okay? And don't give a good goddamn about what the people think in the process. But meanwhile, these people, they think they got some sort of democracy. Go on, brother.
So it says, reading on, and they shall not take of thee a stone for a corner,
Right.
nor a stone for foundations, but thou shalt be desolate forever,
So the Lord
saith Yahweh.
The Lord is going to bring that east wind effect. Bring about desolation. Read that verse again.
And they shall not take of thee a stone for a corner,
Right.
nor a stone for foundations, but thou shalt be desolate forever,
But thou shalt
saith
be desolate
Yahweh.
forever. So is modern day Babylon desolate? No. You can live in Babylon today, as I said before. You can go to Iraq and everything's fine over there. Okay, it's just a desert. That's all. But America is always going to be destroyed forever. That land of America, which is AKA known as Babylon, which is its code name, is going to be destroyed forever and ever by way of thermonuclear war, which you cannot prevent from happening. Go on, brother.
Set ye up a standard in the land, blow the trumpet among the nations.
And that's what's going on right now. That's why we're setting up the standard. That was prophesied right there. See, Jeremiah prophesied that certain guys are going to stand up and set up a standard.
Against the nation,
Against the
IUIC.
nations. Say that again, brother.
It's against the nation, IUIC.
Right.
Don't talk about Esau.
Don't talk.
That's a cut right there again.
That's the standard. That's
Yeah,
the standard.
yeah.
They don't meet in that standard, bro.
See?
Cut.
That's what I'm saying. IUIC ain't the men of the Lord. They cannot be the men of the Lord. We got to be the men of the Lord.
They're not the men of the Lord. You've been saying that for days, man. You've been saying that for days, man.
Years too, brother.
It's
Years.
now it's becoming so plain and clear clock that they're not the men of the Lord, and that GMS, we gotta be those guys, man. Because if IUIC they're not men of the Lord, who you got next? You got ISUK, GOCC, HODC. Come on, you know these guys, they're not there. These guys ain't got to be GMS, man. The same guys that would be rapists, all this other madness. We're those guys, man.
We're the real McCoys right here, man.
We're the prophets.
Just like the Messiah, yeah? They knew he was the Messiah, but they didn't like it.
But they didn't like it.
Yeah.
They were jealous, man.
Yeah.
They were jealous. And there was, I was reading this the other day on my break here. You know, there was a blind man. There was a blind man here, and then Yahushua took earth, and then he put it on the man's eyes, and then the guy was able to see. And then he went. I believe he went to his mother, and then his mother's like, and what happened is the blind man, he went to the Pharisees. The people took him to the Pharisees, and the Pharisees like, who did this? He said, the guy, I don't know his name, but he was able to heal my blindness, and everyone knew that he was blind before. And they said, but as soon as he met, they found out it was Yahushua. They were like, they were trying to put him out of the synagogue. They were trying to get rid of him, because they knew if anybody tried to mention him as being the Christ or the Anointed One, that the Pharisees would put them out of the synagogue. So people didn't want to say that he's got to be the Anointed One. You know what I'm trying to say? So because they feared the Pharisees, innit? They didn't want to mention him as being the Anointed One. So they just said, we don't know who he was, but that's what he did. He healed my son's blindness. So that's what they said. And when the blind man said, well, obviously he's got to be the Anointed One if he's doing all these things. And then they you know what they did? What the wicked scribes and Pharisees did? They put him out. They threw him out of the synagogue. So he could never come back in the synagogue.
You know, that's a good point, because
they hated. They were jealous, man. Like, they were niggas, man. They were proper niggas, man. They were jealous, man. Proper jealous and envious.
Same as the soldiers here, they found out after he had risen, they paid him money saying, oh, don't say he's risen. Say the disciples took his body out. The disciples stole his body instead.
See what I'm saying? They were proper envious of Yahushua, because it was a power thing. It was a power thing, man. Because that's why when he performed miracles, Israelites was coming from out of Judea. Israelites was coming from Idumea to come to where they heard all the rumors, and they were all following Yahushua. You know, that's why the Pharisees said, see how the world has gone after him, and then they saw ways to try and get rid of him and shit like that. They envied them because they're the ones that they wanted the power to sit in the chief seats, and people taking orders from them, but they were wicked. They were hypocrites. That's why when they tried to when Mary Magdalene, she got caught in the act of adultery, their whole thing was to stone her. But then they turned to Yahushua because they wanted to tempt him. They said, so what do you think we should do with this woman then? Because they wanted to tempt him. Then Yahushua, he ignored them. He was writing something in the sand, didn't he? The scriptures don't say what he was writing in the sand. Then he looked up at them slowly because he completely ignored. He said, which one of you that haven't sinned cast the first stone? And then, because when he said that, the scripture says they felt convicted. They knew that they had done bare sins, and that's when they left one after another. They left the scene, man, one after another. And then the only people left was Yahushua and Mary Magdalene. Yahushua turned to Mary Magdalene and said, go and sin no more. Go and sin no more.
And that's why IUIC is making recommendations. I believe personally, they hate us.
They take every box. They take every box.
They love that part.
Even their videos, their sit-down videos, they got their members sitting on the lowest seat, and the main guys are sitting on the highest seat.
Yeah.
So I believe, like even back 2,000 years ago, back then, they had like a conference room where the Pharisees had the highest seat and the regular Israelites had the lowest seat. That's gonna be the reincarnation, and they hate Yahushua all over. that's why Nate don't teach in the name of Yahushua. And that's why he inspires those who teach in the name of Yahushua. So they gotta be them same spirits. Because this is the same empire all over again. See, brothers gotta understand that this is the revival of ancient Rome. The same things that was going on in ancient Rome is going on right now. When you read the book of Acts, okay, what we're going through is the same thing that Paul went through. It's the same shit.
Every generation.
It's the same generation.
Same spirits, man.
And guess what? Check this out, brother. Yahweh Shah's gonna come back again in Rome. He was in Rome 2,000 years ago, and he's gonna come back in Rome and destroy Rome again.
Right.
So it's the same. It's man, see. But see, this is the thing. See, you know how we figure this out, because once again, the Spirit of the Lord is dealing with us, beginning with the head apostles on down. So this is the revival of ancient Rome. The same shit that happened in ancient Rome is happening all over again. Okay.
See, IUIC, the Roman Empire gave the Pharisees their position and their power, right? If you check IUIC, they got 5 months to do that same work they can do. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So that's the same power from the Roman Empire. It's the same thing, and they against Yahweh Shai and the disciples of Yahweh Shai, which is us, because we're the ones teaching in the name of Yahweh Shai, and they IUIC they hate GMS, man. They're like, oh, these guys, they always speak indirectly about us. They'll never say GMS, but they say things, you know, it's obviously they're talking about us. Because, like I said, the scribes and the Pharisees, they're the problem with Yahweh Shai. Okay, and the disciples, and when Yahweh Shai died, the disciples obviously became apostles, and they were also trying to get rid of don't teach in that name. They had a problem.
Absolutely right, because I believe it was the Sadducees and the Pharisees.
Both wicked ones are
right, because they did say don't teach in that name. And they wanted to kill Paul for teaching in the name. So it's the same. See, it's the same. It's parallel, man. It's the same thing.
Yeah, exact same, man.
It's the exact same thing. So I mean, and that's how you know that Yahweh Shai has to come back. Because like I said again, his spirit was in him. So he would have to come back again.
The scripture always said, the secrets not greater than the master.
And that's why we're going to get persecuted the same way he was persecuted, because we represent Yahweh Shai. Okay, when you look at all of the brothers around the 4 corners and them teaching Yahweh Shai, we represent the body of Yahweh Shai. So we're going to go through the same sort of things that the apostles went through. Some brothers might be put to death, some brothers might get the spiritual power. But everything's going to be fulfilled in due time.
Matthew 10, verse 24. The disciple is not above his master, nor the servant above his Lord. It is enough for the disciple that he be as his master, and that the servant is his Lord. If they have called the master of the house Beelzebub, how much more shall they call them of his household?
That's right. So that's the bottom line. So our master is Yahweh Shai. So whatever Yahweh Shai went through, hey, we're going to go through likewise. Okay, he was rejected amongst his people. That's why it tells you he was rejected amongst his own household. The same thing is going to happen. You come into the truth, what's going to happen? Your mom's going to either kick you out your house, or your family may not be cool with it. Okay?
Go ahead. Acts chapter 5, verse verse 26. Then went the captain with the officers and brought them without violence, for they feared the people, lest they should have been stoned. And when they had brought them and set them before the council, and the high priest asked them, saying, that you should not teach in this name.
Right, you see, that's what they were saying back then.
That's IUIC. And behold, ye have filled Jerusalem with your doctrine, and intend to bring this man's blood upon us.
Yeah, they have filled Jerusalem with their doctrine. That's why the IUIC clowns are in Brixton today. Okay, they're even in Liverpool now. You got some of them in Liverpool. Some of them are in different parts and everything like that. So they're trying to consume Jerusalem with their doctrine. Okay, that you have to call his name Christ. Okay, Christ Most High Christ bless. Okay, and the mark of the beast is an embargo or it's Christianity. Alright, but guess what? That has to happen because the scriptures say you're gonna have false anointed ones that shall deceive many. Alright, and then by those many being deceived, they're gonna be destroyed. It tells you that in John 15 and 16. Okay, if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. So everything's already set in order, man. Most I got this battle set in order, baby. See? You can't break the order, go on, say something.
Like, see how IUIC, Nathaniel 7, Nathaniel Arnold, them, they denied the name of the one.
Right, that's what
they did back then. So they denied, they knew Caiaphas knew that he was the Lord. It says in John, it says that we know that it needs that one died for the nation, that the nation perish. But they desired that power.
Yep, and you know what, too, brother? Just to top it up what you were saying, based on what you're saying now, guess what? Even they even confessed to Apostle McCall saying, you guys are from above, not from beneath.
He said, Ricard said that. He said in the phone that he even saluted Ricard in the name.
Yep.
He said Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ricard.
Yep.
But that was between Ricard and Nathaniel 7.
Yep.
So obviously Nathaniel Allah is going to be more honest over the phone. But in front of his congregation, he's going to do the bidding of the elites, which is the beast, the Roman Empire. He worships the image of the Romanized system more than worshipping the Most High, because it says this, Acts 5, reading on, verse 29, then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey the Most High rather than men. So that shows you there's a differentiation between GMS and IUIC. IUIC, they obey men rather than the Most High. They obey Esau more than the Most High, and we obey the Most High over men.
That's right.
There's a difference between us and them. And let me read this. This is St. John chapter 11, verse 46. But some of them went their ways to the Pharisees and told them what things Yahweh Shai had done. Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council and said, and they left the council and said, what do we? For this man doeth many miracles. If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him, and the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation.
You know what that means today? Guess what? If they teach the truth, if IUIC teach the truth, guess what's going to happen? Tax exemption status is gone out the window. Simple and plain. So that's why they talk shit about Great Millstone and they don't teach it today. And I'm very glad you made a beautiful point, brother. You said something to the effect of how the Pharisees especially, they were linked by the Romans. They made a covenant with the Romans.
They made a covenant, right?
And they making a covenant with the same motherfuckers today. You see, everything's the same, man.
The scripture talk about as
It all reverts back to power because the scribes and Pharisees, they wanted a portion of Esau's power to rule over, the rest of their own people by their laws and by their ways, so to speak.
What is? It says Isaiah 28 verse 15, because he has said, we have made a covenant with death,
right? See,
and with hell we at agreement.
Right, and that's what IUIC did. They made a covenant with death, and with death they are agreed. Because when you sell out to this government is against what we teach. This government is against the Bible. Okay, the so-called white man has declared himself to be against the Bible. All right, and that's why we get more thumbs down than thumbs up when we come out in the streets. Because the spirit of the society is not biblical based. It's satanic based. That's why in the society you can change your body, your private organs to something that you're not. But if you speak up against it, you're the bad guy. Alright? Or if you believe